Good evening and welcome to this regular scheduled business meeting of the Summersville City Council on this 13th day of July 2020. We have an agenda. First thing I'd like to do, we do have a couple of guests. I'd like to welcome everybody. I'd also like to highlight a few things. The first thing I would like to highlight, we're holding our Summersville City Council meetings at the conference center, allowing us to social distance, where in chambers we set elbow to elbow, and also allowing for those that attend the meetings to be able to be here and also meet the social distancing requirement. So at this time, if council so desires, you are welcome to remove your mask as we're seated. As we all wore them in here, now we're seated. I think that it's up to you. If you want to wear it, you can, or if you want to remove it, you also can. In the tune of masks and COVID-19, I would also like to open tonight's meeting with what I call a somber note. Fellow citizens in our extended community, it is with much regret, and I mean much regret, that due to the increased COVID-19 numbers in the state of West Virginia, that our governor has reduced the group event number size back down to 25 and canceled all fairs and festivals. Of course, this was effective today. Therefore, I'm officially canceling the 2020 Nicholas County Potato Festival and all of the City of Summersville's Music at the Pavilion events. I want to highlight and give a big thank you out to the Potato Festival Committee, as we've been meeting for months and we're readily prepared and excited about having a festival. I want to thank the committee for all of their hard work and also all of those that play a role with our committee on Music at the Pavilion. The other thing I would like to do in a real big way is thank the Summersville CVB, who is our partner in just about everything we do. And of course, they again helped us carry the torch on what's been done to date with the Potato Festival, as well as they were a big role and partner in Music at the Pavilion. I will say this side note, in the event that things would change, there's no way to cancel the Potato Festival and ever put it back on track, because tomorrow my co-chair, executive director of the conference center, Marianne Taylor, will make all the calls to officially cancel all of the entertainment tomorrow, along with the fireworks of our 2020 Nicholas County Potato Festival. But I will say that in the event that things might lighten up and the governor come back with a change, we will expedite as quickly as we can to try to put a few things off at the pavilion for our citizens, to lighten the house a little bit, because I know that it's just an unfortunate thing. And I also say that, COVID-19 obviously is not taking a vacation, but I still encourage people to get out and get in the fresh air, and if that's hiking or biking or fishing or whatever, because at some point in time, it's as big a concern what we're dealing with from this coronavirus as it's going to be on the mental side, because people are just caged up and they don't have a life. So with that said, I want it to be known that we do have policies that the City of Summersville employees will follow, and I will highlight again that if indeed an employee returns from what's designated as a hot spot on vacation, they'll have to wear a mask for 14 days, and that at any time they come down with the symptoms, they'll be tested and wear the mask till they get a negative test, or even if an employee doesn't want to wear the mask solidly all the time for 14 days, they will have to, they can get a test, and then they don't solidly have to wear a mask all the time as an employee. The other thing I will say, the face covering inside, the city is adhering to that. So if you come to City Hall, you will see that our employees are wearing masks. Those that are tucked away in offices, allowable by the policy, do not have to sit in their tucked away office wearing a mask. But in all the passageways and in all the areas that one could come into contact with another, our employees are wearing masks. Our employees are also wearing masks and respecting the business community. So if our employees are out and about and they're on the clock, they're representing the city, we will follow the executive orders of our governor. And so I know that he calls it a requirement. And of course for state employees it's a mandate. I know that there is no penalty for not wearing a mask, but I am requiring that the city employees follow the order. It's not elective. And I challenge our community to do the same. And in that's what the experts are saying now. We don't have the resources that, or the accessibility to some of the resources that our state and federal government do. So at this point in time, the best we can do is follow their lead from the standpoint of all the orders that they issue. So anyway, that's my addressing of COVID-19. Moving along with the agenda, the next item on the agenda would be the approval of the minutes of the meeting we held June 22nd, 2020.
Move to approve, waive the reading.
We have a first.
Second.
And a second. The motion was to waive the reading. Council, are there any changes or amendments to those minutes as they were presented? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. Public comment. I don't think
We have none.
Okay, no public comment. Okay, the next item on the agenda would be the City Council grant distribution. And so Council, you were sent again the chart of all of the grant presentations that we had. It's pretty much been scrubbed. The only thing that I can see on here that will probably change effective today is, at least in the short run, the 29th annual fly-in air show of Wally Squadron. I can't imagine that with the governor saying you can't have a crowd above 25, that there's any way that they can pull that off too. So I just wanted to bring note to it. I kind of went down this quickly. That's the only one that I could see that we still have on the list that probably will not take place. The other thing I did want to highlight is we'd had discussion about the Special Olympics, and for the $2,000. And Amy, were you involved in calling on that one?
Yes, they said they could use the money for the fall games if they have to have.
That is correct. That is correct. Okay. I wanted to make sure before So their intention was to go to the summer games, but there are fall games, and so there is a potential that if they're allowed, they would take the kids to the fall games where they didn't get to attend the summer games. So, with that said, Council, the floor is open as to how you all would like to assign the $30,000 available for council grants. Would you like me just to read down and talk dollar amounts, or does somebody? All right, let me read down.
Well, I mean, I've got a list here. If you want to use it, then they can
Okay.
up or
You
down
want
it,
to pass that down?
change it, or get rid of it, or whatever.
you, sir.
Any way you want to do it's fine with me.
Okay, so this is what Chuck took the he took the $30,000 and he's broken it down this way. He starts off with Friends Are Fun. They actually requested $6,875. He has on his sheet given them $3,200. I'll just run down through all of this and then we'll go back on it if you all want to make notes. Love Works, $2,000. New Beginnings Resource Center, $3,000. Nicholas County Community Foundation, $2,500. Nicholas County High School, $2,000. Nicholas County Shop with a First Responder, $500. Nicholas County Special Olympics, $1,000. Nicholas County Veterans Memorial Park, $2,500. Nicholas Old Main Foundation, $2,500. Panther Creek Elementary, $500. Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, $2,000. Sheltered Workshop of Nicholas County, $1,000. Sozo Recovery House, $3,000. Summersville Christmas Store, $1,500. Summersville Rotary Club, $2,500. He does have zeroed out Wally Squadron. West Virginia Ministry of Advocacy and Work Camps, $1,000. And the WVU Nicholas County Extension Service, $1,000.
And I will say again, there's several of those that I really don't have any idea about what they do or how important they are or what anybody else knows about them. So, you know, that was my best guesstimate on how to do it. So, any changes you want to make, more than welcome.
Mayor, I like the numbers.
Okay,
I have the Christmas store getting a little bit more.
okay.
That's why if my with the Christmas store, I'll have the 35, the full 3,500 for the Christmas stores.
Okay, so we're looking at, if we go 3,500 on the Christmas store, which we have two down here that would like to see that. What we need to do is we need to scrap $2,000. And,
That's the recovery house. What is that something new?
Jean, she was here at our last meeting, and that's the Sozo Recovery House. That's located downtown Summersville in the old dry cleaner building, and of course it is an entity that's involved with the Nicholas County Intervention Coalition that the city is very active with. Myself and the chief and the police department. And it's all about, the drug epidemic and fighting it in our community. So it's a very worthwhile organization. I will tell you one place where I think we've got some you can think about. This year particularly, and it has a lot to do with their conservation and their budget this year. We have always graciously given the Nicholas County Community Foundation $5,000. This year, if we gave them some, they would appreciate it. If we gave them none this year, they would be okay with that. Now, I'm not saying don't give them anything, but I'm saying Chuck has it slated for 2,500, and this year they are in good shape with their operation budget. Certainly, it may not be the case next year. I just know that, one, serving as a board member, but also following up with its executive, the executive director and the president.
I have no problem cutting them to 500, so, whatever.
Okay, so we can go, if you're all okay, we can make the 2,000 that we need down here by changing the community foundation to 500.
Mayor, on the park, do we give them funding outside of this as well? Through the city?
Yes, we do. So as a matter of fact, that is on my schedule to meet with the park. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start with the park manager because there's also some things that we have to line out because we have right now in our budget effective July 1st to give them $35,000. The check has not been shipped until I have my sit-down conversation with Emily. So the $25,000 I feel will go regardless because that's money that we give for the park and the pool. There's $10,000 in that funding that's attached to user fees on things that did not happen. And so I've already had a couple of conversations with Emily and we just haven't finalized it yet. But yes, so they get 25 and then there's still 10 of that I don't know that will ship. It's based on user fees on entities that didn't use the park.
So if I remember correctly, the 5,900 they were asking for, is that what they had to have to be able to do the project this year?
The restrooms,
The
yes.
restrooms.
That is correct.
If they're not getting that full amount, is that something we should reallocate to maybe some of the other?
Yeah.
And just play it for next year is what I'm saying, especially with
That-
what's
yeah.
going on with COVID and so forth. If we're not even going to be able to make it to where they can use it this year, is that something we should
Yeah.
look at?
So I don't know, so that's a good question. I know they if I recollect, their budget for that project was bigger than the $5,940 they're asking. But I don't know if they can still do the project without the full amount.
Yeah. That was
So that's a very good point.
I personally feel like if we're helping them with other funding, then we could help some of these other organizations instead that we haven't got to help so far.
Okay. So I hear that Nicholas County Veterans Memorial Park for the public restroom renovation, we have $2,500 allocated for that. So if what I hear is that this year you want to take a pass on that, then you could reallocate that $2,500 elsewhere.
I agree with that.
Okay, anybody have anybody want to throw anything out there as to where you might like to see?
I had a couple suggestions for that.
Okay.
One would be the LoveWorks program.
Okay, Love Works, okay.
Um,
How much are you recommending to increase it, Stevie?
I mean, they were asking for 4. My initial thought was about 2, but I mean, I think I would be happy with 1,000, giving them something to.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you want to oh, you don't want to increase that, you want to lower it?
No, well, didn't,
Three
Chuck had.
10, 2,000.
He had 2,000.
Oh, did he have 2? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
he had 2,000.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the resource. No, yes, I'm sorry, to go to 3,000.
Okay, you want to go to 3,000,
Yes.
okay? 3,000,
I agree.
agreed?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. All right, we got that. All right, so that leaves us $1,500 left.
I'm not sure in light of what's going on with the school system, some of these projects involve schools.
That's a good point.
Well, aren't they getting plenty of money coming down from the federal government for all these extra little projects?
I don't know. I mean, I think their federal funding is, I mean, I don't know of any additional federal funding. I know that the CARES Act has been helping pay on some of these meal programs. The feeding programs the school's been using to feed the kids.
First responders was one I wanted up to.
Okay, okay, first responders.
To the 1,000 that they asked for.
Okay, give them the 1,000, all right.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction. We have a real need in our community. There's a lot of need for a lot of things, and Christmas is definitely one. Any of these needs for these kids and single parents is big. New Beginnings is doing a great job with their stuff too.
That was the other one that I was.
Yeah, I think they were asking for 10,000, and we've got them cut to 3. They do an awful lot of work with children, babies, and things of that nature. So
Okay, so let me get New Beginnings. Okay, so right now, unless you cut something else, I'm gonna increase New Beginnings the other 1,000. So now
What's
we've,
that now? New beginning?
yeah, it's the third one down. I'm gonna make that 4,000 right now, and so that used up the rest of that 2,500 that we were gonna send to the park for the restrooms.
I think you ought to split that between Love Works and New Beginnings. In other words, I don't think one ought to get more than the other. They both do primarily the same, similar things.
Okay, Love Works and New Beginnings. So what? Yep. one's getting-
3,500 each.
35 each.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
LoveWorks primarily deals in daily needs. It doesn't deal with baby stuff.
Okay. All right, so change both of those to 35.
Change Love's Work to 35?
Yeah, Love Works and New Beginnings to 35
New
each.
beginning.
Well, we should be okay. Now, before we do that, let's find out one more thing. Okay, is there anything else that you all think that in lieu of where we're at, we should not fund this year?
I don't know, how do you all feel about the school items, the vape detectors and so forth?
Okay, which, let's see, Nicholas County High School.
High school.
Okay, so we have 2,000 there. All right, so that 2,000. And then what other school ones are you talking about?
Panther Creek,
Panther Creek.
it's not much.
So, I mean, again, it's your alls, these are council contributions. I like the Panther Creek deal. It's an outside thing that even the community takes advantage of.
I like all of them.
Yeah, well,
Well, I don't think you can do too much for a school at any point. You know, just my opinion.
so my point was, Councilman Epling,
Huh?
that if school's canceled, an outdoor track is still accessible.
Yeah, that's fine, that's a good point.
But that doesn't mean that we have to. So, so we have a recommendation on the school projects, which would be the detectors, the vape detectors for the high school, the walking track at Panther Creek, and there was another one in there, wasn't there? Education. Oh, well, the Summersville Rotary Club project is for teachers as well. That's to buy teachers school supplies.
They may still need that. I mean, even though if they're gonna teach from home, they'll still need, because they'll, I deal with it, my wife, she mails stuff out to her kids too, so if there's stuff that they can do that, I feel that that's good.
Okay.
So for education, if there's ways that they can allocate that for those, if they're at home, to help them get stuff out to their students. Because not all students will have access to computer, internet, and all that, if it comes to that.
Okay, so, do you all want to reallocate the vape detectors for the high school along with the Panther Creek track money?
I like the track money to stay there. I mean, the vape protectors, is that gonna be, I mean, it's gonna be you're getting, the new school's gonna be built, now obviously it's not gonna be for a few years, but is that something we can play until next year too?
Okay.
Isn't? I mean, I'm open to discussion on that.
Okay,
I mean, Panther Creek State Highway.
Yeah.
where
And
would
then
we?
again, was that something that they needed the full 5,000 to make it happen?
No, they're $1,000 each. Actually, the city contributed in, and I'm roughly remembering this. I know we helped buy one last year, and I believe the school already bought, they needed 5 more. And they themselves have already put some. It's the idea of putting one in every bathroom in the high school. So the recommendation is to table that. Where do you want to expend that $2,000? How about down there? Y'all got any recommendations? Mike, Jim, Brandon?
The 2,000 you're taking away from is the vape detectors?
Yes. Is there others that you think we should look at, Brandon?
No, I was just
Okay,
wondering
no.
what you were taking the 2,000.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Did we raise the, other fund?
How about the Nexus County Extension Service, those are the fire,
Yeah, the very bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know if $1,000 is gonna,
$1,000 won't go very far.
won't help them too much.
No, it won't, but that also could be, that's a September program, and that also could be a program, that's with every, is it third grader?
Yeah, third grader.
Every third grader in the county, so that could be an event that would be canceled too, yes.
Because now it comes to play now, so you already don't know if that's gonna happen or not. Do you table that a year too? I don't think so, but still, you have to do it.
How much do we have on there for Sozo so far?
Right now, you have $3,000.
It's a good program.
That's 3,000 for what?
So,
Do what?
So that recovery house.
Okay, so.
So right now, what we have on the table is the 2,000 that we haven't allocated. The other thing that you could do is, if you wanted to allocate more to Agriculture Safety Day, which is a very good program in partnership with WVU Extension, and then if it doesn't happen, that money could always be, we could say if that program doesn't happen, we want it to go, because that's a September deal. So if it didn't happen in September, the funds could be shipped to another organization.
Yeah. That's just for organization that's gonna happen. I like that idea.
And also, I got to tell you another, and again, I mean, the Ministry of Work Camps, which builds wheelchair ramps and does home improvements, is also another very reputable program in our county.
I agree.
So we got $2,000 right now that's out there. Do you want to split that between the two? Giving each one of those 1,000 more?
Yes.
Okay. And then in the event that the West Virginia Extension Service Day doesn't happen in September because of the kids in school, do you want to reallocate that 2,000 somewhere else?
Yes.
Okay, where would you like to reallocate it to?
Sozo was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would do the SOZO program.
So you want to take that to 4,000?
Yeah, add another 1,000 to it.
Okay, so that makes Sozo 4,000, you still have 1,000. Oh, that's only if.
Yeah, that's the if, that's the.
Yeah, that's right. I gotta make sure I do this right. This is gonna get read. Sozo gets 1,000, okay. The last 1,000 would go where if the West Virginia Agriculture Day don't happen? To the ministry?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would give that, make that West Virginia ministry 1,000. Okay.
And if we're doing that in that aspect too, if they can't, did we already take away the third, if they don't do the third graders?
That's what we
That's
just
what
did.
you,
Yeah,
okay, I
that's
just
what
want
we
to
just
make sure
did.
of that, if we did that, okay. All right. If that didn't happen, it goes.
I'm gonna run down that.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
Let me-
run down and give the final totals here, and Gary, can you add them up?
I will. Let me get them written down.
Okay, so we're saying Frenzer Fund gets 3,200.
Yes.
I have LoveWorks 3,500. New Beginnings Resource Center 3,500. Nicholas County Community Foundation 500. Nicholas County High School 0. Nicholas County Shop with a First Responder 1,000. Nicholas County Special Olympics 1,000. Nicholas County Veterans Memorial Park 0. Old Main Foundation 2,500. Panther Creek Elementary 500. Retired Senior Volunteer Program 2,000. Sheltered Workshop of Nicholas County 1,000. Sozo Recovery House 3,000. Somersville Christmas Store 3,500. Well, this seems like more than 30,000. Somersville Rotary Club 2,500. Jay, you added up for us? Good deal. West Virginia Ministry and Advocacy and Work Camps 2,000. And WVU Nicholas County Extension Service 2,000.
What's that number?
31,700.
31,700. Okay. So 31,700.
31,700.
Okay. So council, if you have no problems, the budget will be $31,700. Y'all okay with that?
I'm good.
Everybody good with that? Okay, then we got those other two that will get official in the notes, that in the event that the extension service for the third grader program Agriculture Day doesn't take place, Sozo gets 1,000 and the West Virginia Ministry gets another 1,000. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2021 grant funding of the Summersville City Council.
So moved.
Okay, we have a first
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion, comments, or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. And just in a closing note, point, comment well intended. All of these projects are good. All of these organizations are good. Makes it tough when you want to do for everybody and fund everything, but you can't. So we certainly encourage everybody to reapply next year during grant season. Okay, recorder's report.
Yeah, Mayor, I have just a couple of things I want to say. Last Thursday on July 9th, we had a public hearing at our Planning and Zoning for public comment in regard to 505.12 dog kennel ordinances and the C1, C2, and C3 zoning ordinances. I'm pleased to announce that both passed unanimously. That's been a long time coming, and I'm happy to say we've got that passed. That will need to go through the council at some point for another public hearing. I do want to just add that Planning and Zoning is currently looking for 2 board members. So if anybody would show an interest, please give me a shout. We've got a couple of names that we're working with right now, but if anybody out there would like to throw their hat in on that, we would love to hear names on that. We're currently right now switching gears, and we, as the mayor has been commenting, the 2030 comprehensive plan is off and running. It's rolling pretty good. You know, we still, the planning and zoning is a little bit shorter now. We're a little bit smaller, so it's a little bit harder. I want to thank Councilman Epling. He came out and gave us several hours on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, and we sat down and went through a bunch of stuff there. But you know, anybody that would like to be involved with that, you know, feel free to give me a shout. My number is 304-619-8563. I'll be more than happy to sit down if you have some ideas on the direction this city needs to go in over the next 10 years. We are at a difficult time. I mean, we would like to have more public comment, but due to the COVID, it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. So if there's anybody out there that would like to discuss comprehensive planning for the next 10 years, I'd be more than happy to sit down with them and discuss. Reed is from WVU and is helping us this year. He's our intern, and he would love to sit down and discuss some things with you too. There's been a lot of public comment done by telephone interviewing, so that is an option. So don't feel weird about coming in and giving comment. We'll be more than happy to give you a call, and Reed would love to talk to you. So please reach out. Again, my number is 304-619-8563. I'll be more than happy to set up a meeting with Reed. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions on any of that? Okay, so Gary just mentioned, coming from Planning and Zoning, that we have some ordinances that are ready for public hearing and then of course ultimate passage by the City Council. So Gary, if you could get that stuff distributed as soon as possible to City Council. I will say, just for the public's purpose and you, Council, in lieu of what I know is on the agenda for the next meeting, we have a full agenda. So those issues, those public hearings and items will be on an August agenda. And so it'll either be the first or second meeting in August that we'll actually address those. So I also challenge you, Council, once you get the information, if you're getting any feedback from the public or you have any questions yourself, to immediately reach out to a member of Planning and Zoning, the chairman, Craig Chapman, and or Gary, the city recorder, if you have any concerns about that information that you received prior to, and you'd like to discuss it prior to the council meeting. And also, Councilman Epling and Councilman Waters are also members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. So anyway, it'll be good to get some of that stuff before us and get it passed. Okay, I only have mayor comments. I only have two things that or mayor's report. I only have 2 comments I'd like to make. The first thing I'd like to do is thank the Army Corps of Engineers for their assistance in the trash handling due to the increased volumes. Again, we appreciate Toby's from the Corps, his leadership and the things that he quickly responds to partner with the city. As you know, council, we have that lot leased. It's actually out of city limits. We provide insurance for it. That's on the Bill Bright property, where all the rock climbers, and now there's a whole lot of activity over there with people just going to the lake. So anyway, we've had a huge increased volume in trash, and it really became an overwhelming task for us to go up there every day and do what we had to do. So we immediately reached out to the Corps, and they've stepped up in a big way, helping us with that to where it used to be just us handling it. The other thing I want to do is I want to thank Gary for representing the city. I was out of town, and I want to give a big congratulations to Seneca for the opening of their new substance use disorder treatment facility, Recovery Ridge. It's a great and incredible asset that this community has needed for a long time. So Gary, thanks for attending the grand opening, and also congratulations to Seneca for opening such a facility right here in our community. Is there anything you want to say about that?
No, I was just, I encourage if you want to go take a tour, that I know Amy and the rest of the team up there would love to show you. It is a beautiful facility. They actually had folks on the books from that day one. So it's going to be well used in our area, and super proud of Seneca's work on that project.
Okay. Okay, council reports or comments? Looking to the left, looking to the right. Okay, no council comments. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to move into executive session under the authority of West Virginia Code, big long code, and its purposes for legal, personnel, and deliberative matters, matters not considered public record, matters related to construction, planning, commercial competition matters, purchase, sale, and or lease of property, investment of public funds. This is what is required to be on your agenda per going into executive session. So I entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We so move into executive session.